Good evening, my longtime friends and new friends, fair weather friends, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen of all ages. Today we're going to be reviewing the Jordan Peterson, Cathy Newman conversation that happened, the interview that happened. He's really become famous for over the years and really blown up because of interactions like this. Typically in the Jordan Peterson interview, he's able to have critical thinking, and the people that ask questions to him has something I want to call rhetorical questioning. So today I'm going to do a reaction by popular demand to this interview of Jordan Peterson, and I'll get back to you later to talk about rhetorical questioning and what it is and why it's bad. Quick announcement here before we get into the rest of the video. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm gods. If you want to see more bad jokes by me and more good content like this, you got to do it or else YouTube stops showing you the video. Okay, so smash the like button. Videos get promoted and I can make more of these because I know you like them. So you can identify this in your own life that somebody is trying to ask you questions or assume negative things about you when they're talking to you without giving you a fighting chance. Let's go.
Let me move on to another debate that's been very controversial for you. And this is, you got in trouble for refusing to call trans men and women by their preferred personal pronouns.
No, that's not actually true. I got in trouble because I said I would not follow the compelled speech dictates of the federal and provincial government. I actually never got in trouble for not calling anyone anything.
Right.
That didn't happen.
You wouldn't follow the change of law, which was designed
not
to
once it was
outlaw
law.
discrimination.
No.
That's really tricky. She goes, you didn't follow the chain of law, which was outright discrimination. It's like two things that are negative that depend on each other. You can't assume the first one and assume the second one. It's so bad. It's so bad reporting. Let me break this down to you, okay? Something that we call rhetorical questioning. So rhetorical questioning is like, is the Pope Catholic? Is rain wet? Does a bear poop in the woods? Do you like to be a failure the rest of your life? It's like all these questions don't even want a real answer. You know what I'm saying? Like they just assume negative already.
Like, why do you want to suck? Why do you want to be a pathetic loser? Why do you not care about me? Why do you just think about yourself all the time?
You ever had somebody say it to you? I have, yeah. And it's like, whoa, you don't know. You don't know. Why do you think that you are better than everybody else? It's like, how do you know that I think that I'm better than everybody else? So this isn't even journalism. This is like trying to get your hit piece done, right? It's crazy.
That's what they said it was designed to do.
Okay, you cited freedom of speech in that. Why should your right to freedom of speech trump a trans person's right not to be offended?
Because in order to be able to think, you have to risk being offensive. I mean, look at the conversation we're having right now. You know, like you're certainly willing to risk offending me in the pursuit of truth. Why should you have the right to do that? It's been rather uncomfortable.
Well, I'm very glad I put you on the spot.
Well,
I'm very glad that I have exercised my freedom of speech.
You get my point. It's like you're doing what you should do, which is digging a bit to see what the hell's going on. So and that is what you should do. But you're exercising your freedom of speech to certainly risk offending me. And that's fine. I think more power to you as far as I'm concerned.
So you haven't sat there and I'm just trying to work that out. I mean,
gotcha.
You have got me. I'm trying to work that through in my head. Yeah, it took a while.
It did, yeah.
The thing that's interesting about this is because she's like not even pursuing the truth. She's like trying to separate her question. You have freedom of speech and you don't want them to have freedom of speech. Why is that? And so she's stuck because that premise is gone. That frame is gone. And it's kind of interesting to watch her kind of like backpedal now and try to come up with what her new argument's going to be. Woo.
You're saying that trans activists could lead to the deaths of millions of people?
I'm saying that the philosophy that drives their utterances is the same philosophy that already has driven us to the deaths of millions of people.
Okay, tell us how that philosophy is in any way comparable.
Sure, that's no problem. The first thing is that the philosophy presumes that group identity is paramount. That's the fundamental philosophy that drove the Soviet Union and Maoist China. And it's the fundamental philosophy of the left-wing activists. It's identity politics. It doesn't matter who you are as an individual. It matters who you are in terms of your group identity.
You're just saying things, though, to provoke, aren't you? I mean, you are a provocateur.
I never say
anything. You're like
anything.
the alt-right that you hate to be compared to. You want to stir things up.
I'm only a provocateur insofar as when I say what I believe to be true, it's provocative. I don't provoke. Maybe for
You don't
humor
set out to
now
provoke.
and then.
You see that there? You're just saying this because
You blah 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 blah. That's why you're saying this. I know.
it's like, you know, it's assigning guilt to someone without actually looking for the truth. Anytime you hear negative questioning where somebody's assigning this to you, this negative question where they're not looking for the truth, you're gonna lose. Even if you answer the question, you're on a defense, right? Because you're like, that's not what I mean. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, it's like you gotta backpedal just to get around the question. So it's a tough situation that he's in, but he's handling it pretty well.
Let me just get this straight. You're saying that we should organise our societies along the lines of the lobsters.
I'm saying that it's inevitable that there will be continuity in the way that animals and human beings organize their structures. It's absolutely inevitable. And there is 1/3 of a billion years of evolutionary history behind that. Right? That's so long that 1/3 of a billion years ago, there weren't even trees. It's a long time. You have a mechanism in your brain that runs on serotonin that's similar to the lobster mechanism that tracks your status. And the higher your status, the better your emotions are regulated. So as your serotonin levels increase, you feel more positive emotion and less negative emotion.
So you're saying, like the lobsters, we're hardwired as men and women to do certain things, to sort of run along tram lines, and there's nothing we can do about it.
No, I'm not saying there's nothing we can do about it.
There it is. There it is again. There's nothing that you can do about it. You're saying that we're weak. You're calling me weak. You're calling me spineless. You're calling me out of control. You're saying that I am a lobster. Constantly assumes the negative again and 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 again. It's like, you imagine you went to a restaurant and you walk into the restaurant, you sit down at the meal, and the waiter's like, "Can I take your order?" And you're like, "Why are you trying to poison me? Why are you trying to poison me?" Where he's like, "Well, what are you talking about? You're trying to poison me." It's like you haven't even eaten the food yet. You're assuming the guy's trying to poison you. This is what it's like.
What's in it for the women, though?
Well, what sort of partner do you want? Do you want an overgrown child? Or do you want someone to contend with that's going to help you and that
So
you
you're
can
saying
rely on?
women have some sort of duty to sort of help fix the crisis of masculinity?
It depends on what they want. No, I mean, it's exactly how I laid it out. Like, women deeply want men who are competent and powerful. And I don't mean power in that they can exert tyrannical control over others. That's not power. That's just corruption. Power is competence. And why in the world would you not want a competent partner? Well, I know why, actually. You can't dominate a competent partner. So if you want
women
domination,
want to dominate, is that what you're saying?
no, I'd say women who have had their relationships their relationships with men impaired, and who are afraid of such relationships, will settle for a weak partner because they can dominate them. But it's a suboptimal solution.
Do you
It
think
does
that's
no
what a
one
lot of
any
women are
good.
doing?
I think there's a substantial minority of women who do that. And I think it's very bad for them. They're very unhappy. It's very bad for their partners, although the partners get the advantage of not having to take any responsibility.
But what gives you the right to say that? I mean, maybe that's how women want their relationships, those women. I mean, you're making these vast generalizations.
I'm a clinical psychologist.
Yeah, you know the thing about when people say this, like, this is just a personal bone I'm going to pick here, where people say you make vast generalizations. Well, generalizations are true. That's why they're called generalizations. You know, like, you can have generalizations that are wrong. Those are just false. But you can have true generalizations that are true because you have a lot of evidence, and a lot of evidence spread over lots of people and generations and demographics. And you take all the evidence and you say, this is the information that we found to be true. And then you can make a generalization about it. Now, it's not going to be true for every single person out of 100, but it could be true for the 70% out of 100. And that's how you make a generalization. So when somebody says, like, you're making a generalization about something, it's kind of to use, like, in a way to say that you're wrong. But generalizations can be right. Like, I can generalize that the sun is going to come up most mornings. I can generalize that eating a lot of chocolate would be bad for you. Even if it's dark chocolate, eating a lot would be bad for you. I can generalize that, if you walk up to a stranger in a bar and buy them a drink, they're probably going to walk away. Not that it's great or that it's bad, just that that's generally what happens afterwards. They don't stick around very long after the drink, right? So this is just generalizations. And they happen to come from evidence and information, not opinion only, but evidence and information. I really love what he's saying. Of course, I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be biased when it comes to good old JP. I did a video with his daughter as well, by the way. So if you want to check out a video from the Peterson clan, I'll put it in the description down below. You can check that video out. We talked about just different diet ideas and how they could affect your mood and things like that, which is really important in this day and age. And if you want to work with me more on fixing your individual conversation skills, your abilities, maybe you get stuck in these negative conversations with people. Maybe you can't defend yourself in a conversation. Maybe you feel like people are lying to you. You can't tell when they're lying. We'll actually go into this in extreme detail in my conversation mentoring program, which is an 8-week-long program of video courses and me working with you personally, face-to-face, one-on-one, through Zoom, twice a week. And I do that for 8 weeks long, okay? So it's me in your life listening to personal things that you're going through, what's happening in your life, and I'm strategizing your conversation skills to that. It's not like general information that's out there on the internet. It's like personalized and dialed in. I've been doing this successfully for over a decade, or I've traveled the world doing this, teaching every single culture, every single background internationally, and everybody that's done this has had amazing results, okay? So if you want to find out more about this might be the thing for you. Hop on a call with me and my team. It's a 100% free coaching call. This call is not going to get you committed to this conversation mentoring, but you just see where the gaps are in your life that are having challenges. Once you have some clarity on what's happening in your life, then you can decide if you want to move forward with it or not, but at least you'll know, because knowledge is power. If you're clear on where you're falling short, then you can at least think about changing it and you know what you want to change. Okay, so that call is 100% free. Click the link down below in the description. You'll see conversationmentoring.com. Click it, fill out a short application, and not everybody that applies gets a call, but people that are serious and really filled out successfully do get a call from me and my team. All right, that is it for now. And as always, keep in touch and don't be a stranger. Booyah.